A perfect market for my system, and next week, I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where we'll share how to get started making money, flipping houses, and how to build long-term wealth with income properties.
To get 2 free tickets to Van's workshop, text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Seating is extremely limited, so text your 5-digit zip code to 82,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and you'll also reserve a free copy of Van's Money for Deals guide. Just text your zip code to 82,000.
WWIN Baltimore, WWIN HD Baltimore.
On the web at spirit1400.com.
Spirit 1400, the spirit of today's gospel.
The spirit of today's gospel.
The following is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed by the program sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Spirit 1400 and its management.
It's done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you as you believe. I'm gonna get there, yes, somehow. Push my way through the crowd. I'm gonna grab you by the hand to a place we will stand.
Yes, I believe in you and you believe in me. I believe that we can make our dreams a reality. Welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on Spirit 1400 here in the headquarters here in Baltimore of Radio 1, TV 1, Media 1, and we're right around the corner at the Hughes studio. We just happen to be up in the midst today in the room where so many great things are happening in America simply because of TV One and simply because of Kathy Hughes. Please welcome my co-host, Mr. James C. Moran. Hi, James. How are you?
Hello, how are you? Good afternoon, Baltimore.
Blessed on this beautiful day. Ain't it pretty outside, y'all?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you might need a little jacket, but that's all right. We got Lamitra. She got to call back. Okay, and also Richard. Okay, well, we got a couple of guests. We lost them on the line, but we'll get them back in a minute. I would like to remind each and every one of you that you can go to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on Facebook and wherever you get your podcasts, and you can listen to us live. Welcome again. We're happy that you've joined us. There's so much going on in the city. We were talking about the ex-chief, Mr. D'Souza, getting prison time. They gave him 10 months for what they call tax fraud. It wasn't very smart what he did. He was taking deductions for things like mortgages, and he didn't own a house. He was taking deductions for rental property. He owns no rental property. And he did some things that were just really not very bright. But what sort of gets me about this is he wasn't the only one. Many of the other officers had been doing the same thing. In fact, I heard it said that they're the ones that told him what to do. And they were, he was making, $210,000 a year? Yeah, I think it was $210,000 a year. And he was still trying to get money back. But then, come to find out, James, he was taking care of his moms.
That was one of the rationales for doing that. She's more money in his pocket.
She had Alzheimer's, and he would leave a 12-hour shift and drive all the way to New York. Told his brothers and sisters, "No, we're not putting Mom away."
Yeah,
I know that one. Mm-hmm. I understand that one. His father wouldn't bathe. He would drive up, work all night, and go and drive up and make sure he seems to have been a very caring person. I kind of picked that up from him when I would hear him talk, and I saw some of the things he was doing. Please welcome my co-host, also Richard Terry. Richard, how are you?
I'm doing fine, gentlemen.
Welcome. And Lemitra Henderson, are you there, Lemitra?
Yes.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. My phone dropped.
It dropped? Oh, I know. We was looking for you. Well, welcome to both of you. We were just getting ready to talk about a gentleman we thought was going to make us a great police commissioner, and he ended up not paying taxes for a long time, and he just got 10 months in prison for it, and he was going to be my new neighbor. He was going to buy the house right next door to the mayor, and all that fell through, of course, when he was charged with tax fraud. And we liked the guy. We thought maybe it was a great hope. But you know what gets me is that these other policemen had been doing this for years, James.
Yeah.
And they got away with it. And so why don't they go back and check their records to see which of them got away with it?
Well, the problem with all of this is that if you're a highly visible African American, you are going to be subject to more scrutiny. Mm-hmm. So the advice that I give is make sure that you, as I have always said, if whatever it is you're doing is going to look funny in the Washington Post or New York Times, then don't do it.
Especially if you're black, and if you're white, you get white privilege. Right?
Well, if you're white, you could be Paul Manafort, who makes $60 million in tax monies that are owed, and is probably going to get away with it. Mm-hmm.
Well, this Judge Blake says she wants to make an example out of him. Sweetheart, why don't you go make an example out of the president?
Yeah.
Why don't you make an example of all those people that are being charged for that in millions of dollars? Mm-hmm. This guy was $67,000, and he's paid all that money back. Yeah. So it's just the double standard.
It's
well, Judge Blake is the same one who's in charge of the HBCU case.
Mm-hmm. So we wouldn't exactly say she's a
friend of any of our community.
Well, I don't know. She was the one that made him. She's a good one in the HBCU. In the HBCU. She's the one told him, "This is crazy. What are you all doing? No, you go sort it out." Because I think they were trying to get her to shut it down, and she refused to shut it down because she showed there was a duplicity in the way the schools were funded.
Well, I still revert to my original claim that we have to be whiter than snow.
Yeah,
that's poor choice of words. But any highly visible person of color is going to be subject, whether we like it or not, subject to more scrutiny. And D'Souza is going to be taking the brunt of the negative views because of past history in Baltimore, past histories with other mayors, other police commissioners, and so he's going to take the fall for all of those things, whether real or perceived. At this point, there's not really much that can be done in his behalf, unfortunately.
Well, he'll be going set up and probably up in Allenwood.
Yes, it might be a country club experience, but it's still a prison.
It's blemish on his character, on his, and I mean, when you read about how he took care of his mother, when you read about how he took care of his father, how he would drive all night long. This is not some die-hard criminal, bad man, bad person. And for her to say she's making an example, well, I would say, why doesn't somebody say, well, why do we go and examine everybody in the force that did this? Why are we picking on this man? Because, see, I believe it was Leo Burrows, who's one of our co-anchors, who said that they saw he wasn't going to be following suit. He was going to be more independent than the Fraternal Order of Police realized. And so then they found something to really get rid of him. That was their plan, and that's what they did.
Well, that's normal.
Yes, that they will always try to find something. I have a feeling that they sort of look in your trash cans every evening just to make sure that they can find something.
They ain't looking in mine. They gonna find chitlins on their breath.
They'll find chicken bones in mine.
Yeah.
Close up those trash cans.
Yeah,
folks.
Right. I give all my bad food to the feral cats, and anything else in it they can wipe on with their hands. That's so sad. This was we thought he was going to be great, and he probably was, but he was a little rich for the blood for the Fraternal Order of Police. Speaking of rich blood, what do y'all got to say about this mayor? Is she on her last leg? Will she be able to withstand these pressures and all of these revelations that are coming about her with her finances and property she owns and property she's buying and that sort of thing? What will be the deal?
I think she's wounded right now, and I think we better start looking at and with regard to their comments that have been on TV, and that's Brandon Scott and Zeke Cohen from Federal Hill.
Those are the two named Councilor.
Yeah.
Whose district encompasses Federal Hill. Those are the contenders. Mm-hmm. Now, the dark horse candidates, quote unquote, so to speak.
Pretenders.
The pretenders. Mm-hmm. The list may include, I'm thinking Nick Mosby. We haven't seen the last, maybe, of Sheila Dixon. Mm-hmm. Some people have especially Elijah Cummings' wife, who's now the head of the Maryland Democratic Party.
Maya Rockamore.
Yeah.
That's a surprise. I'm also thinking Bill Ferguson.
That's a possibility, too.
Who was very complimentary about the new commissioner and has been pretty outspoken about political views in Baltimore City.
What district does he represent?
You got me.
Yeah,
I'm not sure either. But let's look at the several scenarios that are in play. And what made me start thinking about this was on our show on Monday, we had a caller who asked about the order of secession. Now, this is far before the press conference and everything else started blowing up. And for that question to come out of nowhere, it got me to thinking, what would happen? What order of secession, and what are the scenarios that really get interesting? One scenario is if the mayor resigns and Jack Young becomes acting mayor, because he automatically moves up being the president of the city council. Then we're only 14 months out from the primary election. And as we all know in Baltimore, for all intent and purposes, the primary election is the election.
Yes.
And as a result, if he goes up to mayor and he tries to run for mayor, his seat suddenly becomes open. Mm-hmm. So now you got two positions that are in play. So what's going to happen? Then taking a look, if you look at that scenario, the bigger picture is whoever wins, this question suddenly becomes, are they going to keep Harrison in as commissioner, or do they want somebody of their own?
They're not going to have a choice unless they want to pay out his
salary,
remaining contract.
Salary, yeah, the way that contract is structured.
If they fire him, they have to pay him for the full term?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a wonderful contract. I've consistently said I want his agent.
Yeah, agent. I want to talk to his lawyer, whoever negotiated that contract. But that's what happens when you operate from a weak position of fear and desperation. He probably didn't want to leave where he was, but he saw the situation and I'm not mad at it.
You get all you can when you can.
Right. Well, out of all the people that you've mentioned, the one that I would have to, I'm concerned about all of them. We should all be concerned about them. But what about Jack Young? What kind of mayor do you think he would make? Indeed, that happens.
I think it's a moot question because I firmly believe that he doesn't want that position.
Oh.
I have not spoken to him recently about it, but I got the distinct impression over time that he would not want to move up to the mayor's slot.
But if it happens that the mayor resigns, he has no choice.
For a short period of time, yes. But I think I'm speaking of if he would mount a campaign and run citywide
permanently, right?
Why? You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on Spirit 1400. You can go to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on Facebook and catch us live. We'd love to hear your commentary. Or you could call in at 410-481-1400. 410-1400 is the number to call in. Again, you're listening to Patrick Henderson's. Go ahead, Richard.
What I was saying is, I don't know, and James is correct. I don't know if he would want the seat permanently, because I think he's assisted for all these years and he's comfortable being president of the city council. But if he's forced to go up into the mayor's chair for that limited period of time, that now, like I said, that now leaves two positions open.
Right.
And that's when it's really going to get really interesting.
Well, do you all think that white people, who the mayor contends put her in office? Yes, she's all but said it. Them N-words don't vote. That's sort of the general consensus around a lot of politicians I've met here in this city. They don't feel like they owe us anything because we don't vote. When we do vote, and we pay taxes whether we vote or not. Do you feel that white people would re-elect her after such a stain on her record? Because people are associating these books that never made it into the schools with taking away from children.
What I witnessed at that press conference on Friday was every rhetorical trick in the book that could be used to confuse and manipulate the audience that's looking at it. And what she employed during that press conference was called, in rhetoric, an appeal to pity.
Yes, an appeal to pity. An appeal to pity.
It was.
Yeah, an appeal to pity. Well, she's not well.
And what happens is you feel sorry for her, and then also she uses this rhetoric. Well, it was for the children, and that whenever you bring in children into it, that automatically brings in you're doing the right thing. Oh, no matter what you do, we have to support you. And they overlook everything else underneath.
No,
didn't work well for Sheila Dixon.
No, in this instance, I think that they're looking at this more negatively because she completely dodged the issue of the appearance of the conflict. And all she did was describe, here's a billing statement and here's some bibs and onesies, which isn't compelling in terms of the actual malfeasance in office. Because what you still have not done is persuaded anyone that there wasn't some self-dealing going on. So your participation on the board automatically allowed you to have access to certain priorities, certain initiatives that were underway, and you could leverage those in terms of your particular business. And that is the controversy and the issue, and she did not delve into those.
Well.
And to create this, she had a ghastly, ghostly appearance. The colors, I hate to be sort of catty about it, but to wear a sort of white, beige kind of
made her
outfit
look even more pale and gaunt.
Made her look absolutely sick.
Ghostly.
And then to make...
maybe that was the intent.
See, that was the thing that was irritating to me, because instead of drawing pity, for me, it made me a little angry, because I said, you're trying to manipulate me by looking horrible, and then you can't speak. The voices were so quiet. And so what did you want me to do under those circumstances?
Well, she doesn't have a good press secretary anymore. Jason McLaurin, I believe you know him.
Yeah.
His sister wrote on your article that she knew Cashew were sorority sisters, and that it was a bad press conference. Everybody said that her crew should not have let her staff.
Never.
You should not have let her do it. And I asked, did the staff really have any power there? Because from what I've heard from several reliable sources, she doesn't listen to anybody.
That is a major failing. If that is the
I've heard
true.
And then Jason McLaurin, who knows her and has worked for her, he said it's true. He said she's surrounded by a bunch of white boys from the county, and she listens to them over everybody. Here, how are you?
Listen, the reason why Jack Young probably won't take the job as mayor because he got him in his family working for the city.
Wait, hold on. Could you pull him up? His voice is a little low. Is that his? Say it again.
I said the reason why Jack Young probably wouldn't want to be the mayor because they were looking through his past and trying to.
Yes, what you said.
That's what he said. I don't know that to be the case.
I've heard that. I've been hearing that for years, especially in the Department of Transportation or Department of Public Works, right? So, but what does that have to do? Does that mean that he got them jobs, or they could have been working there before?
He got some jobs, and make sure they get paid.
Now we're talking nepotism.
About that. That's nothing new.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. I hear you, but what about that Bush boy up there in the state legislature? He was on the University of Maryland board of directors too, and so and he's the first one. Now he's creating laws saying they can't do this. Was there nothing? Did they search to find out if there was anything complicit with him, or he's just this is what white folks do? The black man get in trouble from doing what you done taught him how to do.
You just answered it right there, Patrick. That's the answer right there. When we do it, we get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
They just wait for Jack Young to move up so they can throw it. That'd be all his dirt that will come back on top of him, and he will be.
Patrick, if you remember, both Bushes were on that board.
And I tell you another thing, Patrick. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is what I said to another station yesterday. I said that if the mayor don't be careful, she's gonna be MIA pretty soon because she have exposed too many of her hands in the same pot. And that's very dangerous.
What do you mean missing in action? You think they go
missing in action
do a Jimmy Hoffa on her?
Well, hey, this is whatever. I mean, it's real. This is look. You about to expose everybody that's got money and the big money, and they don't want to get it. You know how big money works.
Well, I know, but just look at this, though. John Hopkins just gave us $16,000, was the latter part of last year, on her election. So why wasn't that suspect?
Because the idea is big money washes hands with big money.
Yeah, man.
Well, I think that she has no more get-out-of-jail-free cards. I think the very next controversy related to her will seal her fate. I think that this is so bad that she can't make any other mistake. She has to have a perfect administration from here on out.
Let's look at who's looking.
Patrick.
Yeah.
I bet you one thing, they're not going to go down.
Who?
All they got.
Bush and all them guys?
They're not going down.
Well, it's the same thing with D'Souza, isn't it? We're looking at the same prototype, the same paradigm. All the other guys are doing it.
A little bit, Patrick. All it is.
What'd you say? Say it again.
It's the same old soup, S-O-U-P, just warmed over a little bit.
Yeah, it is.
That's all. She took a page out of this book and tried to. She did the exact same thing, but she got too bold with it.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't hold back a little bit. Now, why won't you walk there boldly and say all this foolishness? They come looking like some daggone James Pittman on a daggone television. Sounds real stupid. Who said you can't fool us?
Well, there's another thing that's going on. Patrick and I had talked about it a little bit before the show. We are having unprecedented youth violence in Baltimore and the surrounding areas, and some of the areas are young people from Baltimore City going into the county and wreaking havoc.
And downtown into the harbor.
Just this weekend, we had two major incidents. One at East Point Mall, and then the MTA had to actually get buses pulled out to East Point Mall to put the kids on the buses, try to force the kids to get on the buses to bring them back into town.
Really?
So that's Baltimore. They're not county kids. They were basically Baltimore kids.
Wonder why they go out there and tear up something. They want to go out there. They need a place to go. It's a nice place to go. Why would they go and destroy
I
it?
do not understand the mentality right now.
I'm going to phone get back to work.
Okay.
They really want a white man in Baltimore City.
That's what everybody's saying. That's what everybody's saying.
And they don't get one behind this person that's in there now who may have been told to do that. You don't know the whole story. She may have been told to do just that to get her out of office. But they get this guy to condo.
Ben, we got a whole different thing about that. You know who was the what is she, a representative, a senator? Jill Carter.
Oh, yeah.
No, look at what happened
she
here.
Exposed.
She was the one that broke this.
Yeah, she did.
She was. Now, remember, the mayor fired her because she was doing the civilian review board and filling this position at the state. And the mayor told her she couldn't do both.
I heard that she couldn't be in that position she's in now and still hold that position that she had at first.
Right, but the mayor was the one. People have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but they weren't always BLACK.
Not only that, but the mayor wasn't also trying to end the civilian review board. So she moved Carter out of the way. Right. So then she made, what's his name, Andre, the solicitor, gave him all the power. Then he wouldn't even give the civilian review board of the information they needed on the police. So is Jill Carter the one that busted this, and was this retribution?
Well, the chicken on the roof works.
Well, I really do think that we as a city need to.
The worst is yet to come.
So, Patrick, let's look at all who are now looking at the mayor at this administration. You got the state ethics. You got the state prosecutor possibly looking at it based upon the words of an investigator who took down Sheila Dixon and Dallas Vance. So his credibility's out there because of these books and the money such that. I'm laying odds you're going to see the IRS pop up soon.
Sure. But that's not going to be the issue that turns public opinion. The issue that turns public opinion is going to be those young people vandalizing cars and attacking people in East Point and then going down to the Inner Harbor the very next day and wreaking havoc in the Inner Harbor. And the Inner Harbor, for better or for worse, is one of Baltimore's jewels.
It's the cash cow for the city.
If there is the opinion that every time a person of color comes down to the Inner Harbor, there's going to be violence, what is that doing to the image of the city and to the management of all those properties down there?
I wonder, and then maybe you gentlemen and lady, I don't know if Lamitra's still there, can help me here.
I'm still here.
Well, before I say that, I've got about a second. Lamitra, you guys are having a problem with your police commissioner. Y'all are having second thoughts about making her. She's a black woman, and she's a commissioner. And they just had a situation where a white man beat up a black woman down in Deep Ellum there, downtown Dallas, and it's caught on film. And she took the side of the guy. He wasn't even a policeman, right, Mitra?
Right.
And so everybody,
it's a felony now. They are this change from misdemeanor to a felony now.
Oh, they did. Oh, okay, because the heat's coming on. So we're not the only one having these problems at urban. They might not call Dallas urban, but it is urban. Yeah. South Dallas is definitely considered urban.
But if we're talking about Mayor Pugh, she has no more chances. And this youth violence set of issues is going to just seal her fate.
You feel like that's more detrimental than the books?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because the youth violence is what you see every day. You see the police cars. You see the kids. I mean, they were starting fights blocks apart.
Well, but what happened out at Towson though? Towson.
No, this was East Point. This was East Point.
I know. No, listen to me, Richard.
Okay.
I'm saying that they put a curfew or they put restrictions on the people that come to Towson. They can't go out there 18 and under.
yeah,
they have to have a guardian. I wonder if that hurt the money out there. Because the people, money. You can tell they're not. I'm not.
Well, they did it. They did a curfew at Towson Town Mall. They did one at White Marsh Mall.
Oh, that's right. I'm confused with White Marsh and East Point.
Yeah, but they have not done one at East Point yet. But I guarantee you that one is in the works.
And I think all three malls, and including Mondawmin Mall, are owned by the same company.
No, you think so?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
That would be Rouse, wouldn't it?
No, Rouse doesn't own them anymore.
Oh, okay.
This is another company. I forget the name of it, but I know they have Towson Town Center, and I know that they have White Marsh, and I think somebody said that they also have Mondawmin as well.
Well, did you all hear that Shoppers, the chain, the corporate holder of Shoppers, has decided to sell all of the stores?
No.
They're going into bankruptcy.
Wow.
What?
They're on MSN Online, they have a listing of all of the companies that are beginning to go through bankruptcy.
And they're
closing.
But the Mondawmin was their most prosperous store. I guess the rest of them wasn't, huh? All right,
Probably
y'all.
not.
Well, here we are. Listen, y'all don't want to miss the show tomorrow. We haven't even talked about y'all president thinking he's gotten off without any sort
collusion.
No collusion, right? That's not true. You do not want to miss the show tomorrow at 11:30 on WLB 1010 Baltimore at 11:30. We want to hear you there. You don't tell all your friends. We're going to talk a little bit more about the mayor. We want to talk a little bit more about this Susie. Y'all see more after call on Mondays than on Sundays. I know if you're chilling and looking at your sports and stuff, enjoy your day. Thank you, James C. Moran, for joining us as usual. Thank you also, Mr. Richard. Bless you. Thank you, my brother, and my sister, Lemitra Henderson. We thank you all, and thanks, Dwayne, for always doing such a good job. And if you want to see the whole show, you missed part of it, you can also go to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on Facebook. God bless you. We'll see and hear you tomorrow at 11:30. You've been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You cannot afford to lose your way. You come too far from where.
WWIN Baltimore. WWIN HD Baltimore.
On the web at spirit1400.com.
Spirit 1400. The spirit of today's gospel.
The spirit of today's gospel.
Hey, I know you can hear my voice. How would you like your voice heard instead? That's right. We have an opportunity for the community to hear your sermon. We want to give you a chance to grow your audience. We're giving you a chance to play music of your choice right here on Spirit 1400. Kia at 410-907-0328 and get your customized show today. Give Kia a call at 410-907-0328. That's 410-907-0328.